Hello and welcome. In today's video, we are diving deep into one of the aspects of the news that have been released in the most recent release of Business Central. And we're giving you some of the highlights in one of the areas. Specifically, we're going to talk about projects. Now, if you are a long-term user of Business Central, you might think, like, what is that? Well, it simply Microsoft has decided to finally adopt the more standard terminology for what they used to call jobs. Jobs have always been a little bit confusing because it was like this terminology that was trying to kind of like lean into some of the aspects, but they finally decided to move towards a more standard project management terminology. So that's the first actual big introduction that Microsoft has done with version 24. So using standard terminology within the pages and all the elements in Business, which is great to begin with. But then there are some other great new features that have been introduced, right? Can you help us with that?
I was really excited to see the releases this time around project, not just the wording. Yes, there's actually more to it than just that. Some people would say it's kind of hibernated over time, the project management system or job system, as it was called early on. But there's some new nice features in there. And one of the features is that when you create a project, you could only have one customer attached to that project. But sometimes you do have projects out there that can involve multiple customers. And when I say multiple customers, that means you're going to invoice some customers for different types of services, or it might be some items involved into it. So that's kind of the project. The whole idea about a project that you want to consolidate all your revenue, all your costing, all your information, all your tasks into one project. But that can mean you have multiple customers for the same project. So early on, you had to create multiple projects to kind of handle that. But now, Microsoft supports that you can have different customers by task. So what does that mean? It means that on the project level, you only have one customer. But as you know, when you use project management, you can have multiple tasks within the projects. Each of those task lines can have a different customer. They don't have to. If you only have one customer, you just put in the customer number on the project. But if you put it out on the task line, you can create sales invoices for that specific customer. So that's a really great feature.
That's quite important, because I think there's way more flexibility for the way you're using your projects or jobs, as they used to be called. But there are also some new features that have been introduced in for assembly, right? Is that right? That's true.
Yeah. And for you that are not familiar with assembly is a kind of a simple manufacturing. Some would call it kitting. So in sales, you have the functionality, though it's possible for you to add an item number that's really at assembly. So behind the scenes, you have to put together those items that makes up the finished good, the assembly. That feature is now available in project as well. So on a job planning line, you can put in the item number, that is the assembly with item number. And when you put in the quantities, it will deal with that assembly behind the scenes, just like you see it on a sales order. So that means if you put in an assembly item number, it will know what items actually goes into this finished output assembly. So project management can take care of that. And another part of that is that not just that, but warehouse management can also be used together with this. So you can create the proper warehouse documents to actually put those items together to get to the finished assembly, so you can handle that on the projects. So that's some really nice feature as well.
That's quite nice. So it seems like they've been adding quite a few functionality also to the warehousing shipment as well. Because we talked about that also in the service highlights. And by the way, if you haven't checked service highlight, there's quite a few functionalities that have been introduced there as well. So make sure you check out that video if you haven't yet. But then I think, one more thing came to mind.
Is there one more thing?
Yeah. Which one is it?
I know, that's more in there. But, when you invoice customers related to projects, some people would say that it's a little bit rigid, it's a little bit difficult to kind of create those invoices, because you have to go to the job planning lines, you have to select the option to create the sales invoice, And then from there, it will create the invoice for you, and then it's added into the normal sales process of handling that. But now with the new release, it's possible to start out on a sales invoice and kind of gathering all the planning lines from the invoice. So that means if you have multiple planning lines, you can have really big and complex project with a lot of tasks on it. You can take the approach that, okay, I know I have to invoice a customer. So now I'm going to start out with the invoice and then gather the information from the task lines. And now, as I mentioned just before, you could have different customers numbers on those task lines. So that's kind of where it all works together now. And that's something beautifully, because now you can create the invoices in a more easy and approachable way that makes your life easier, hopefully. And that's at least how I see it.
It sounds like they've really been putting a lot of work into this area as well. So, again, as always, we're happy to hear your feedback. If you have any areas that you'd like us to cover more or any videos that you'd like to request, let us know down below in the comments. We're always happy to hear from you. And in the meantime, we'd like to thank you for watching and hope to see you in one of the next videos. Thank you.
Thanks for watching this video from NAV SEAL. Check out more right here. NAV SEAL offer assistance and counsel on any existing solution. So if you're in need of assistance, don't hesitate to contact us on navseal.com or LinkedIn. Consider leaving a like and subscribe for more tips, news, and guides to anything Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central.